United States of America. Take a good look at the map. You remember that for every square mile we have, there are 15 more in the rest of the world. For every worker we have, there are 15 more in the rest of the world. The odds against us are about 15 to 1 in land and in workforce. Only about 1 out of 5 workers in our country is on our 6 million farms and ranches, but they produce enough to feed all of us. And 4 out of every 5 workers are at work in our 4 million other work centers. Remember, altogether we have about half the productive power of the whole world. With an economy of this size, naturally we have great problems. Do you know what our biggest problems are and what you want done about them? Let's look them over. We declared our independence way back in 1776. We said officially that we take our rights from God and that we, the people, will keep the power of government in our hands. The main purpose of our limited government is to secure our rights. While we have amended our Constitution many times, we have not changed that purpose. Do you think we should? Do you think we should change the democracy of our republic for the dictatorship of a regimented state? Do you think you'd be better off with unlimited government by fear and force? In other words, should government be the servant or the master of the people? So far, you have a free choice. But do you care? Does it make a difference to you? Of course it does. The difference is so big that you have to live it to really appreciate it. The people down there aren't so different from other people around the world, but they have something that's hard to get and easy to lose, and they have it right in their own hands, the great gift of freedom. We all want a better world. We want all we can get. Why not? That's the #1 problem of every living human being in the world. And there are always only 3 things to work with. The first thing is natural resources, the land, the soil, and everything underneath it and on top of it. The second thing is manpower, our own brains and muscles. The third thing is tools. That's all there is. Nature, manpower, and tools. How you live depends on how we manage those 3 things. For instance, the American Indian had the same chance we have at our natural resources. Same soil, and underneath it the same iron ore, coal, oil, gas. All the rest of it, including all that we've used. He had some tools, but they weren't very good. And this is the important difference. He didn't improve his tools. A whole tribe of Indians couldn't produce as much food as this one farmer can today. We have improved all 3 things, and we've just started. We make a better use of our natural resources. We have improved the skills and opportunities of our manpower, and we have steadily improved and increased the productive power of our tools. It's easy to see how it works on a farm. Let's ask a farmer.
Well, as far as manpower is concerned, that's me. This is a family farm, and I'm the manager and the hired hand and everything else. I'm the guy that decided to go in for conservation, for instance, and it pays off. Well, I suppose that's working with nature. As far as tools go, well, everything from the milk pail to the farm itself. I had to save enough to buy them, and then take care of them, and then save enough to replace them when they wear out. And beyond that, I have to save enough to carry me through the bad years. When it comes to taxes, well, I'm the guy that pays them too. And it all has to come, and it does come, out of what I can get for what I produce. Well, I gotta get back to work.
It all depends on how we use our natural resources, our human energy, and on how we get and improve our tools. But we're so specialized in this country that it's hard to realize how much we depend on each other. It's a problem because we all want all we can get, and we all want to give as little as possible for it. For instance, Tom, do you like a good thick steak?
What'd you say?
Do you like a good thick steak?
Sure, I like a good steak.
Would you like steaks to be bigger and juicier and thicker and cheaper?
You can say that again.
How about it?
Now, wait a minute. I raise beef cattle.
You want as much as you can get for them, don't you?
Don't you?
How about refrigerators or farm equipment? Would you like to have better equipment all the way around and cheaper?
Well, now you're speaking my language.
Wait a minute. You cut the price of these refrigerators too much, and what happens to me?
Well, you cut the price of beef too much. What happens to me?
What about me?
What about all of us as customers? You're no different from anybody else. When you go to buy something, you want as much as you can get for as little as you can give. And when you sell something, you want to get as much for it as you can. And you're free in this country to bargain back and forth and to buy and sell, to make a profit or a loss. But keeping this freedom so it's fair both ways, that's a real problem. The next time you buy something, think about this. Maybe the best way to put it is to remember that progress in human welfare always depends on the better use of natural resources, human energy, and tools. But to keep and improve what we have to keep our individual freedom to work, to make things, to produce, our freedom to save and invest in the tools that multiply the output of our manpower. If you have some life insurance or have a bank account, you've already helped yourself get more and better tools, so your work will be easier and much more productive. When we talk about tools, remember, we mean more than hand tools, more than power tools. We mean the buildings, the land they stand on, all the equipment, all the facilities, anything and everything that helps us get more real production and get it more easily. We have the best workmen and the best tools. We are the most productive nation, and that very fact is a problem in itself. It's as big as the world. Since a 1/16 of the world produces half the world's goods and services, we're sure to have a lot of problems. Problems of getting raw materials like iron ore, tin, copper, lead, zinc, manganese, not to mention coffee, tea, rubber, silk, and countless other things. This adds up to a big international problem of trading what we have for what we need all the way around the world. Right here in the United States, we have great problems, not only of steady employment, steady production, of food, shelter, and comforts, but we have great problems of sectional and social inequalities, real problems of security and human welfare. But don't forget that the answer to these problems depends on what happens to our 10 million workplaces, where we're free to make an individual decision, to try out a new idea, a new product, to make a profit or a loss. 10 million places with freedom of choice, so successful that we double our standard of living every generation. We have the problem of keeping what we have and improving it, or giving some small group an unlimited power and letting them tell us where and how we can live, work, speak, or worship. To protect us, we have the secret ballot. Nobody can look over your shoulder when you vote. When you step behind that curtain and write out your own personal choice, you're alone with your conscience and your God. If you have any doubt about how good all this is, think of the rest of the world. Look back at what we have from over there. Take Ellis Island, for example. Why do you think so many millions and millions of people are trying so desperately to get over here? They'd trade places with us right now. We're free to leave, but some countries have bars and iron curtains just to keep their citizens where they are. That tells us something about this country and other countries. We have great problems. The problem of war and the problem of peace. The problem of keeping and improving what we have. Some people would like to change what we have. How do you feel about the purpose of our government? Do you want limited government by law and government with our consent? Government which preserves our real freedoms? Or do you want some other kind of government? Even unlimited total government where no man is free? Men made what we have. Men can change or destroy it. The way we meet our problems today may in the not too distant future decide between a dictatorship or a democracy. It's in our hands. We still have a free choice. And while we still have a free choice, let's talk about it and what it means to you.